What up? What up? What up, world? How's everybody doing tonight? This is Friday Night Mocks back with you today. This is June 10th. We are having the mock number 6 of the year. So I'm excited. We're doing a 12-team Superflex redraft. So I'm excited to get this started. Everybody's waiting. So I'm going to bring the screen up real quick just to get everybody going. And here we go. So, just to introduce everybody today, we have a few new people in the building today. We got KS Chatsy. What's going on, man? Welcome to have you. I know Wilson brought you in, so thank you for coming. We got the good old Justin Herbert touchdown, or better known as the Chargers. What's going on, man? Hope everything's going well. Glad to have him in here. We ran a little late because of him, but it's okay. We also have Speedy09. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to see if he autos. We'll go from there. We got, I'm going to have to turn that off. We got 58 WK in the house. He's been here before, so he'll be back. We got Brandon in the house. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you here. We got Lou Camp in the house, another OG of the podcast. We got myself in the 7th spot. I like being in this spot. We got Rock and Russo. What's going on, Rock and Russo? Glad to have you here. They're part of the Leatherheads podcast. Wilson knows them personally. Got them in here. Glad to have them. Then we got Chief Finn. What's going on, Chief? Another Wilson subscriber. He is now the 150th subscriber. Glad to have him here. Can't wait for this, this whole thing to finish up and see how everybody does. We got, of course, the infamous, the best person in the world who's been very helpful for me this week is Wilson27. He basically got 90% of the people in this draft, so I'm really happy, really thankful for him. So thank you so much, Wilson. I really appreciate you. We got Coach Agine. I'm really bad at names, so I'm really sorry if I messed your name up. And if you're on the stream, I'm sorry. And as always, we have Gus Bus. Glad to have Gus in here. Always great. I mock with him consistently. So it's my pick, and I get to go with the pick of the litter here. And do I want to be the guy that goes and pivots off? We only doing 2 wide receivers, so I think I'm going to stick with the quarterback and get the pick of the litter. And I'm going to go with Joe Burrow here, which I'm very happy about. Otherwise, let's get into the chat and see what's going up here. We got Scott Sharp. What's going on, brother? He said, "Bless up, King." Coach here saying hello. What's up, Coach? Hope you're doing okay. Thank you. I messed up your name, so I'm just going to keep calling you Scott. So I'm glad to have you here first on the stream. We got Madden Degenerates Unite. What's going on? Hello. Anthony going, hold it down. Classic. You got this. Let's go. Hell yeah, man. I'm here. I'm always willing to hold it down, always trying to do what I can to help the podcast in any shape, way, or form. So I'm glad I'm here. We got Xavier Ramos. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you in the house. I can't see your comments. Don't worry. Oh, there we go. BO, what's up, man? How you doing? So we're getting around to the turn. Lost out on a couple of good guys. Gus is up at the moment. Cooper Kupp is first off the board for wide receivers. We got Jonathan Taylor going to Brandon. Is first off the board for running backs. We got a bunch of guys going off. And, of course, Justin Herbert. Had to pick Justin Herbert. Now, I've done a bunch of mocks with this guy, and he always does his best to get Justin Herbert. Doesn't matter where he is in the draft. He will always do it. Look who we got. What up? What up? What up? How you doing, Frank? Nice to see you. He's in Reno tonight, so enjoy yourself. Be safe. Have fun. Believe me, I can understand being in Reno, so enjoy that, man. Other than that, we are here tonight. I got a bunch of news that we're going to talk about. Got a bunch of things that's on my mind that I want to get across. Had a crazy crazy week or a few days, and enjoying a time to get right with a bunch of you. So thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody that's watching. Thank you, everybody that's joining in this draft. So first bit of news, which is not that crazy is Hunter Renfro. He gets a 2-year extension. Really happy for him. $32 million for 2 years, $21 million guaranteed. He had 103 receptions for 1,038 yards and 9 touchdowns last year. Right now, he's being currently ranked as wide receiver 52. Don't understand that. He's one hell of a receiver, really underrated. So, I don't understand why people are so down on him. So it's my pick here. I want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my running back with Joe Mixon. I don't care that it's a stack on this one. I enjoy Joe Mixon too much to not have him on my team. Joe Mixon's my one guy that I will try to get in every draft I can. My keeper league, I have him as a keeper option, and he is mine. He ain't going nowhere. End of the second is a great value for him. Another guy that got the bag, Cooper Kupp. He gets paid, gets his money, but he doesn't want to break the bank or break the market. He goes with a 3-year extension, keeps him in LA for $110 million, which is fantastic. That's another, he's there for another 5 years, and he'll have $55 million guaranteed. Good for you. That's awesome. Glad Cooper Kupp got his bag. It's well deserved. He broke too many records last year to not get something in return. So I'm very happy for him. So good luck with everything. Glad Cooper Kupp could do that. And I love how humble he is with not trying to go and, break the bank and, make the market so crazy. I have to talk about it just because it's kind of a big deal. We haven't been on since Monday, and a lot's happened since Monday. And in that time, this new suit came out for good old Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to spend the whole time doing this and talking about it. But the biggest things to know about it is there was a 24th suit filed, which I'm going to have you guys look at the description. It is what it is. Just make sure you guys check out all the sites that have it. They have a really good breakdown of it. There was a New York Times article about, Watson meeting up with at least 66 women for massages over the last 17 months, more than previously known. And, this was helped out by the Houston Texans. They gave him non-disclosure agreements, and they made appointments for him and so on and so forth. So, there's a whole thing. There's a whole transcript as well. If you ever get to listen to it, it doesn't sound appealing, and it doesn't sound like he's in it doesn't sound like he's gonna really come out of this unscathed. I really do think that he is now in a very bad place. So I'm not touching him here. I'm not doing it. I want to go running back, but I do the same stack every time. I need to kind of mix it up a little bit. I think I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill and kind of mix it up a little bit. Normally, I would go Javonte Williams. He's going to probably go to Wilson right now, knowing him, if not Gus. But that's all we're going to really talk about with Deshaun Watson. I will say for the fantasy impact for Deshaun Watson, he's too high of a risk. I don't see him playing this year, just based on how things are going. A lot of people in the league don't think so either. They really do think that he's going to be suspended for a lengthy period of time, if anywhere between 6 to 8 games, if not a full year. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So for me, that's too much risk for me to, especially for like a super flex that we're doing here. If I want to pick him up near the end or in the middle, I'm just not going to do it. Frank's saying it clear as day. D for Deshaun again this year, and I agree with him. I think it's very hard for you to put your team in the trust of somebody that won't be here for 8 weeks and maybe longer. This new case, this new claim, the 24th claim, kind of puts things in a little bit of a bad spot for him. And it makes it where there's a lot of things that could happen with this because it wasn't disclosed with the first 22, and there was a lot of other things that came up. So make sure you guys check out articles about that. New York Times has a very good article about it. HBO Real Sports, if you didn't get to watch that, it's very eye-opening. It's very sad to hear. There's a few other thing. I think Dan Florio and Chris Sims, they did something. I think NBC Sports, something like that. They did a really, really eye-opening video that described everything going on. So just make sure you check it out. Anthony going, Javonte Williams should not be going before guys like Chubb, Fournette, and Connor. That's fine. He's not. That's why I avoided it. I figured I could either get him here or I can get him later, which would be a great value for me because he's usually going in the next few picks. So that's fine with me. If I'm able to get him, great. If not, no big deal. Anthony telling me, mix it again, Mike. Sheesh. Hey, man, I'm trying to get these guys. I like them. I really am a big fan. So I can go with wide receiver here, fill out my wide receivers, go Javonte, get my, running backs. I'm in a really good spot right here. So I think right now I'm going to be going Javonte. I like his situation. I like the team. Him and Barkley are in that, conversation always around this point. I think Barkley might be a better pick. Luke Camp kind of took the pick I was looking for right there. If I was hoping to maybe come back around. But that's okay. I'll find another way to go about it. It is what it is. Oop, sorry about that. Anthony going, you can make an argument for ETN. Should go before him in PPR. And so the one thing I will say, and this is going to be my 2 cents on ETN, and why I'm a little bit lower on him and a little bit more now. I haven't let this known, but my fiance just got into a bad car accident. She broke her foot and she has a Liz Frank injury herself. We spoke to an orthopedist. And one of the things he told me about the Liz Frank injury is that it can be a career ender. And I understand he's coming back, and that's fine. And it's good to hear that he's coming back from a Liz Frank injury. But unfortunately, Liz Frank injuries can linger and they can become agitated. And if you take one wrong step, it can be it doesn't matter if the surgery is perfect. It could literally do more damage. And, he could be out for his career. So I'm not trying to say that he's not a good player. I'm just saying that the injury is a little bit more significant than what people might think. I understand this isn't his ortho that I'm asking. It's just a regular ortho doctor that says this, but they are they understand this injury and they know, how it can affect people. So I would really strongly, think that, yes, he might be ready. He might play a few games, but it might come back and hurt him later on. And it will be something that, people should keep an eye on in drafts. And that's why I'm very nervous about picking him up in any capacity, just because of his, bad injury. So just be aware of that. All right. So enough about Deshaun Watson. Like I said, make sure you guys check out a bunch of the articles that are out there. They're very, very well written and very. Hold on. So Anthony goes, but you love Mixon, and he came back from Liz Frank and did what he did last year. I expect the same for ETN. I don't disagree, but what they did was limit his touches. He did well, and they took him out on third down a lot and used Samaje Perine a lot more than I thought they would. So I would just be very cautious with him. He could come back and do well. I'm not saying that he can't, just saying that there's a possibility. Patrick Lorio, what's up, buddy? Yo, what's up? What are your thoughts on Tony between him and not showing up for voluntary practice, and now he's making up rap videos? Shake my head. Not a good look for someone who played 4 games. Understood, my friend. I do agree with you on that. Oh, also, did you hear Maurice Jones-Drew said LT is the third best defensive player at the best. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna compose myself before I get into this particular conversation because yeah, I'm definitely gonna compose myself. All right. Anthony's making a very fair point in this particular thing. I'll be cautious about with ETN when you're cautious about Mixon. Understood. You're not wrong. It's just how I feel about it. I know he's younger than Mixon, and that's why people are a little bit higher on it. But I want to be a little more cautious. So to Patrick, Patrick for Kadarius Toney. I like Tony. The whole thing that happened with him in the beginning with voluntary minicamp, he didn't show up, and apparently he had a knee scope that was done at the beginning of near the beginning of the year, like in March, something like that. I don't know the exact date. And when he went in to get that handled, uh, things were he was just recovering from that. But there was also some, articles out there that stated that he was, partying and doing that stuff instead of rehabbing and all this other things. Then there was the trade rumors that brought him in, and the trade rumors made it where they were basically saying, we're going to get rid of him. And I think they did that as a ploy. I know Steffi Smalls, who's been on the Fantasy Whisperers, and a few other people, she mentioned that this might have been a tactic for people to find out, their, where they are, like they're true, if they're true to the team and the system, and they leaked that type of information, and that's how it got out. I think they did it more to just have him at voluntary minicamps because they didn't talk about him being there after that particular article came out about him being traded, wanting to be traded by the Giants wanting to trade him. So for me, I'm glad he's there. He's a very talented player, but I do agree. Patrick Lario saying could have had Parsons over Tony was a waste of a first rounder. I do agree with you. I do like Parsons as a player. I think he's a very talented middle linebacker / outside linebacker when he wants to be. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we did get Evan Neal out of it. And, we ended up getting Thibodeau and Evan Neal from that deal. So I can't argue with how it all turned out. But overall, I'm not happy, but it is what it is. We're going to have a bust. It's just how it goes. But for the Maurice Jones-Drew thing, saying LT is the third best defensive player, I saw the other players that he listed. I think he's wrong. LT is probably the best defensive player ever to play the game. I understand Deion Sanders is playing corner is a very hard job. But at this point, I'm very, I can't think of anybody else that I would pick over him in any shape, way, or form. There are definitely guys that are, near his caliber, with guys like Ronnie Lott, that played the game so tough, or, even guys in the late 80s, late 70s, like Butkus and, guys like him that changed the game in different ways. But he is unequivocally one that changed the game more than anyone ever did, ever. So, Patrick Lario going, heard Thibodeau might not even play because he's busted. Right now he's in the process of getting better. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I'm gonna steal Matt Ryan there. I know it's a little late for him, but I wanted to get my quarterback situated before I can't get it situated. Drunk Squidward, what's going on, brother? He said Swift went late. I'm shocked. Yeah, Swift went a little bit late in this draft. He went at the 3-2. For those who are watching the stream and want to have if you can't really see the screen that well and you kind of want to have an idea of what's going on in the draft room, make sure you guys check out the description below. In the description, I put the draft board so anyone can watch it from anywhere or look at it and see how everybody's doing. So check that out if you get an opportunity. Liking a lot of these teams right now. Really like, loving everything else that's going on. Also in the description below, we have our good friends from Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys check them out. They're up there in the corner. So make sure you guys are checking out Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys are using the promo code Get Right. And when you use this promo code, they will match what you put in up to $100. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Make sure you guys are using this promo code. I love Underdog. They've been doing great things with their the puppy mania type thing where they're doing different bust ball drafts and things like that. So if you love fantasy, I'm telling you, it is probably one of the best places to go. One of my favorite apps to use for the best ball drafts. So definitely check them out. And they're good sponsors of the show. So make sure you check them out and make sure you use the promo code. That helps us out. So, and if you haven't, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show. We really appreciate that. If you haven't already, we are now up to, last I checked, 353. So I'm really happy about that. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. I know I have it above, but make sure you do it below. Make sure you guys are checking that out, making sure that you're liking and subscribing. Make sure you guys like the video. I hope you guys like what I have to say, but liking the video, liking everything makes it so that we can, algorithms and all that stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. Oh, they also have Best Ball Mania. Forgot about that. Best Ball Mania for Underdog. Anthony just says 355 subs. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're on me. I'm just going to go and check to see what we got here. No value that I like. I'm going to go with the tight end here. I think that's a great value pick for me. I'm a big fan of Dalton Schultz. I think he's going to be the biggest contributor for the Cowboys, in my opinion. Anthony says, and if you're subbed, like the video, that helps us out. So make sure you guys listen to Anthony. Listen to this guy right here. Make sure you guys, if you like the show, or if you subbed, make sure you like the show too. It's a huge help. We do all we can to make sure we can keep this show going. We always are here for you. Drunk Squidward going very high on Swift this year. He gained pounds. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Unfortunately, when you gain pounds for a running back, it's nice, but it's not. More weight means you have to, carry that weight, muscle or not. It's still more weight, which can lead to more hamstring injuries and can lead to, hamstring, soft tissue, so on and so forth. I think that's kind of what happened with CMC, but I'm still not high on him. So just be careful of that. Wide receivers, it's not bad if they add a little bit of weight, but just keep an eye on those things. But I like Swift too. I like the coaching staff. I like what they did in Detroit. I'm liking everything they're doing in Detroit, honestly. So we'll have to wait and see how everything else goes. So some other news that came up. One thing that came up was Mahomes and MVS are having a good connection in OTAs. That's good to hear. For me, I've always been a fan of Juju. I saw a couple videos with Juju and Mahomes. It looks good. It looks like a good connection. I think they're going to have I think that team's going to be pretty solid. I think one person that people are sleeping on that don't even realize it is Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon's still there. He's still in the running, still able to play. There's no real issues with it. So he's ready to go anytime. So just be aware that he's there. Don't forget that he actually plays for this team. And he was good at one point. I mean, he didn't catch a lot last year. He wasn't really on the field that often, but that doesn't mean he's not good. So make sure you guys are aware that he's there. Also, Mecole Hardman, I think can really do well there once everything gets going. I mean, he's the veteran of the group. He knows the system well. He knows what's going on in Andy Reid's system. Juju, I think, is going to be the possession guy, right after. So it is what it is. Drunk Squidward goes, I forgot about Josh Gordon. Yeah, a lot of people did. Coming around on Mahomes classic. Not touching Gordon, though. Yeah, no, I'm not coming around on Mahomes just yet. I do think for Dynasty reasons, I think he's tough. Redraft, I think he should be going a little bit lower. then I mean, he went third here, which isn't a bad spot to be completely honest. I'm not a fan of Jackson, who should be a little bit lower, but I understand why he goes high. But other than that, yeah, I'm still, for Mahomes, we'll see how it goes. I think Tyreek Hill was a big part of what what helped him. Travis Kelsey's getting long in the tooth. So he won't be there for the next few years. Hopefully we'll see. I mean, he'll probably be gone in the next year or two. So we have to be cognizant of that and making sure that you're aware of that. That's a big part of it. They need to fill a huge, a whole bunch of vacated targets for that. So I'm on the board. I need to go wide receiver here. I'm not a big fan of these top guys that are available. I do have Juju, who I just spoke about, who, in the 8th round, I'm reaching a little bit. There's a couple of guys I like later. I think I'm going to take a flyer on Michael Thomas right now. I like him just for, I prefer Landry. He's a little bit cheaper, but I'm getting Thomas for a good price. So I don't mind getting him where I got him. Look who it is. We got Lord of Fana. What up, brother? How you doing? What's up, my guy? Justin Ross is a good dynasty stash for Chiefs if he can become healthy. I agree. I've heard good things about this kid. I haven't seen anything myself. I don't know him that well, so I can't really comment too much on it. But I've been listening to other people, and they agree that Justin Ross is something special for them and could be something moving forward. I'm not really high on Skye Moore at this moment. I think Skye Moore is very hard to trust. He already has hamstring issues coming into camp. And these are all things right now, remember. I'm saying these things early just because it's just something to be aware of. There has been a few other injuries that have come up in camp. There was a report the other day about Kenneth Walker. He's slowed by a hamstring injury. They aren't viewing it as serious, but it's early. We know it's early. It's just right now, Penny's hurt with an injury. Walker's hurt with an injury. Carson's hurt with the neck injury. There's a lot of injuries going on there. The next in line, I think, is DJ Dallas, if memory serves me. So I'm not telling you to go pick up DJ Dallas, but just be aware that, a guy like him is hurt. And it kind of puts a little bit on his value. So Anthony going, Ross is a super sleeper. If he can stay healthy, watch out. Check out his Clemson highlights. I shall check those out. Kind of curious how that is. A lot of these late round guys, I haven't watched a lot of their tape, but a lot of people, let me know about it through, here and other places as well. So there was another report that came out recently by Dan Garziano from ESPN. He believes that Baker and Jimmy G will both be cut in the coming weeks. I find that hard to believe because of their salary cap hit and just all the money involved. But I don't disagree. I mean, he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do, and who he can talk to and who he knows. So we'll have to wait and see. If either one of them are cut, I mean, I don't see the Browns cutting Baker. I just don't see it. They right now. Oh, I'm gonna pick up good old Hunter Renfro right here. Love this pick. Love where I can get him. He got the bag too, so I like it. But yeah, so for Baker, I see it less than the 49ers cutting Jimmy G. They have a reason to cut him to cut cap. The Browns are okay at this point because this year Deshaun Watson only counts as $1 million towards the cap based on the way his contract's made. So it doesn't really affect anything if they keep Baker. So I don't understand why they're looking to cut him, especially with everything going on with Watson at this point, because Watson could be out for 8 weeks, if not the full year. I mean, the commissioner exempt list is not off the table yet. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but it's definitely something to look into because with everything going on, there's new charges, new this, new that. They have to do investigating. The Browns might do what they did last year with the Texans, but we don't know what's going to happen here. So with all the risk that's going on, it's tough to trust. So, and then you're ended up screwing your team either way, because if you pick up Watson in like this type of format, you need 4 QBs just to be solid and just to have what you need. Now, you could argue the fact that you don't need that third quarterback, and you can kind of run your team the way it is, but I wouldn't suggest it. So we're coming around to the turn. We're going to me. These teams are looking really good. I'm really, really liking a lot of the different, just the different styles that people went with. Another guy that just went off the board that I was looking at was Russell Gage. There was a good article written recently with Tom Brady where he said that Russell Gage is, he's going to have an important role in this offense. And honestly, I don't disagree. I think he's a very sneaky player. I think he can do really well in that particular offense and, with that particular quarterback. All righty. So we have a few options we can do here. I think I'm going to stick to my quarterback right now. No, I think I'm going to get my guy. I think I'm going to get my guy now, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do after that. I'm loving how Luke Camp literally just knows who he's going with right after. Good for you, man. So yeah, there was that news today about Russell Gage. I'm really high on him. We'll see what happens from there. There's another report that came out today about Geno Smith having a slight lead over Drew Lock. I like it. That's a little different. I didn't think Geno would have a step on Drew. I think honestly, I don't like either one of them. So it doesn't really matter who I like or who I don't like. But I think Geno showed that he can do a little more last season. Drew Lock was, Drew Lock, and it's a different team. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. For all those Giants fans out there, so if Patrick, you're still listening, Wan'Dale Robinson could have a significant role in this offense this year. Just like any of the other smaller receivers that have come through, Tavon Austin, Rondale Moore, he's that type of receiver that can kind of do a little bit of everything, a little bit of a gadget player that can go, behind center, can kind of go outside, here and there. So in the slot, he's a smaller dude. I think he's like 5'8" and like 189 or something like that. He's a very small receiver, but he's quick. He's got that joystick kind of movement. Kind of like Kadarius Toney. So Giants are kind of going on the smaller end of receiver, except for getting Galladay, of course, which is a little odd, a little weird for me to see. I'm so used to them going a little bit bigger at receiver. And there goes Kadarius Toney off the board as KS Chatsies, fourth pick off the board. So we'll have to wait and see how Wan'Dale turns out. But right now, they're saying that he could have a significant role, and he's doing pretty well in camp. Another rookie that we keep hearing about is Alec Pierce. He's been looking real good in OTA so far. Frank Wright said he looked really good. I mean, really good. Those are his quotes. I like this kid. The kid's an animal. He's a big dude. He's just like Mike Pittman. They're kind of doing what the opposite of what the Giants are doing. They're kind of doing what the Chicago Bears did with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey with Martellus Bennett. They just want to get the big guys out there for Matt Ryan. Good catch radiuses, and Matt Ryan can sling it, man. I'm a big fan of Matt Ryan. Always have been. And someone took my quarterback. Oh, Daniel Jones was ready for me. And he went away. That's okay. That's okay. I have options. I have ways I can go about this. I'm going to go with Bobby Trees here. Like the matchup, like the position he's put. There's been a lot of reports with Treylon Burks, who is a very good receiver, but unfortunately he's been dealing with some asthma issues and been having a little bit of rough time at camp. They're going to need some, a little bit of work to kind of figure out what's the best option for him moving forward. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Another rookie wide receiver that there's some news out about is Jameson Williams. He's not expected to be ready for training camp, so uh, I'm expecting him not to be back after week 6 at the very earliest. I mean, his injury happened at the national title game, which was if I can do my math right, at the end of January or mid-January. So for him to be ready at that point is actually, I'm very surprised. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. It could be later. But, for those who want to invest in him early, I strongly suggest going with other options like DJ Chark. You want to go Amon St. Brown, go for it. I like him a lot. I don't see Williams off the board yet, which is smart. So I'm avoiding those types of players at this point. If you want to grab him as your last wide receiver, that makes sense. Guys, for me, those are guys that I'm trying to avoid. And the quarterback run of guys that I was looking to grab are now gone. Guess they're listening. That's okay. And all of them are going off the board. I was looking for Jimmy G right there. All right. Well, looks like I went a little too late, so my grade's going to be a little bit screwed. That's okay. I'm used to it. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do here because Rock and Russo is going to have to do the same thing here. And of course, Chief Finn is, we're all having a little issue for the guys that waited on QB. I shouldn't have waited. Should have went a little bit early. But I do have some options. I got Drew Lock, Baker, Malik Willis, Sam Darnold, Ritter, Carroll, Gino, who I talked about before, Howell, Andy Dalton, who I'm not taking. I think I'm going to go Desmond Ritter. I have a strong feeling that Desmond Ritter takes over that position. I think he'll be. My bold prediction is he'll probably, I think Desmond Ritter takes over for Mariota by week 6, and that's early. I think it might be earlier than that. I'm not a fan of Mariota. I think Mariota can't be the 2016-17 version. I think he's a little bit older now. I think that they noticed that. I think a lot of teams know that now. And he's just not the same person. I'm very low on him. He hasn't thrown for 3,400 yards in his career other than that year, and hasn't done it since, and he's only declined. So Desmond Ritter could step into a big role with some rookie targets with Drake London and Kyle Pitts up there with Brian Edwards. It's kind of a mixed mosh of players, but he's gonna have to throw the ball because their team is gonna be doo-doo this year. And in that division, you're gonna have to sling it a little bit. For defensive news, for all those who actually care about defensive players, and I do, JPP visited the Ravens today, or yesterday, so he's getting a minute to try to see his options and see what he can do. I'm coming up soon. Ooh, not a lot of tight ends off the board. Very shocked. I guess a lot of people are going late tight end. I'm assuming Speedy's going to go tight end here. And then Chief Finn is probably going to grab someone next with Wilson grabbing a late tight end. And Wilson already grabbed one, but he might grab another one. But Chief Finn is the only other guy other than no. Oh, he's going to go with my pick with Alec Pierce. Looks like he's going a little bit, rookie / second year heavy. Sorry, I need to clean the pipes. All right, cool. So that's all that's really going on in the league. It's been a very quiet week, considering. Um, I know I'm going back to Deshaun Watson, but they did say something about, the commissioner is trying to get everything together, but, and they want to have some ruling on, how long before training camp, which is mid-July, I think, for the Cleveland Browns. So we'll have to wait a few minutes to see what happens with that. It's my pick. I think I'm going to look around, see what I can go with. Oh, I'm taking this guy as my backup. I don't mind having a second. Excuse me. I don't mind having a second tight end at that price. Takes it away from everybody else. And it looks like Rock and Russo is going to be one of those teams with either two QBs or going with a really late one. I was looking forward to Goff. Should have went Goff, but I didn't want to I didn't want to miss out on Renfro at that position. I think this is full PPR. I want to be able to have those possessions. I think Thomas can be that player. Same with Woods. He's going to be the only good receiver on that team at this point, other than Burks. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I think Hooper's a good option as well. I think people are sleeping on Austin Hooper being the tight end over on the Titans. So if you didn't know that, you know that now. I think Hooper could be a big weapon for Ryan Tannehill, who is a good, intermediate to short passer. And Hooper likes to play in that underneath role, and he's a good check down guy. So I'm a big fan of that if you can get it. I think Gus, that's a great pick with Landry that late. He's a guy that I'm looking to go for. Really liking what he has on this team. So for those who aren't looking and not watching the draft, Gus has Dak Prescott with Russell Wilson, Leonard Fournette, James Conner with Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, Gabriel Davis, Melvin Gordon, Zach Ertz, Ricard White with Jimmy Garoppolo, Jarvis Landry, and Kenneth Gainwell. Not a bad team. I'm liking that. I'm not going to break down every team. I'll be here for another hour, and I got other things I got to get done today. The night's still young. So we're wrapping it up now. We're in pick 14 in the 14th round, third pick with Wilson at this point. Goes with Devontae Parker. Good pick. I like Devontae Parker. Irv Smith off the board. Baker going right after him. And it's my turn. I think I'm going to follow up with a wide receiver to end my draft. Let's see what I got to pick. I think I'm going to go with one of my good rookies that I like here. I think I'm going to go with David Bell here as my last pick. I think he's a great option at the end of drafts. I like Luke Camp's pick with Jamison Crowder in Buffalo. These are a lot of late round guys that I'm really shocked about. Here's a guy that I keep hearing about that the coach picked up, Snoop Connor. And I know Anthony's still watching. I know Anthony was going to mention something about him. But Snoop Carter, rookie, he's someone to keep an eye on as well. Someone that could essentially, take over for that James Robinson role. But I like just the, where he came from. 140 or 154th pick, 5'10", 220. That's a good size for a running back. So keep an eye on that guy. Good pick, coach. Liking coach looks like he went to 0 RB for super pick, super flex. Anthony going, that David Bell, not a great pick if Watson doesn't play. I don't know. I think it's still a decent pick because he's a decent receiver. I understand Watson would make it better, but I didn't really have a lot of options there that I liked, but we'll see. Mike, take Snoop off the screen. Wait for deep sleeper episode. I will. I already took him off the screen. Don't you worry. So as we wrap up here. Hold on. I'm just trying to move me around a little bit. Give me a sec. There we go. So you guys can see the rest of the board for those who are still watching. And Wan'Dale Robinson being Mr. Irrelevant in this particular draft. I'm liking all these teams, liking what, the construction that everyone's doing here. So for all those who joined us today for the mock, I really do appreciate it. KC Chazzy. Jesus, I'm very bad with those. Justin Herbert or Chargers, thank you so much for joining. Speedy9, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us. 58 WK, once again, thank you. Most of these guys are brought in by Wilson. Justin has been a big fan of the show and always asked me for, to be here. Scott saying, thank you so much. Truly had a great time. I'm glad, Scott. I hope to have you back soon. We'll keep in touch. Wilson will definitely keep you on the keep you there. Kyle saying, enjoyed it, boss. Glad to have you. Scott saying, great analysis, and everyone had a good to really good draft, in my opinion. Thanks again, Wilson. I agree. Always a good, group. Wilson's always able to get a really good amount of people here, and great guys, really, enjoying what they do. Another guy, Brandon, who is, brand new to the, new to the show, but he's been around for a great time. Really, he's been around for this year, and really glad to have him. Always open, always asking me every week, can I get in there? So, hey, man, reach out if you want to be a part of it. I'll always try to get you in there. Charon Paulino, good draft, family. Good draft. Thanks. I appreciate you having, being in there. Anthony telling everybody thanks. Thanks so much. We really do appreciate you guys being here. Luke Camp, thank you for being here. An OG of the show, OG of the channel as well. Myself, Rock and Russo of the Leatherheads podcast. Wilson helped them out with their logo. So I'm glad that they can join us. Maybe we could get them on at one point. Chief In. There we go. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Wilson, as always, thank you. I really do appreciate your help. I've had a very long couple days, and Wilson has been nothing but helpful to get us to this point today. And I really do appreciate his help, and he knows that. Coach, thanks again for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And Gus, as always, I always appreciate you, brother. We always keep in touch in one way or another. I join a lot of his drafts. We do mocking all the time. If you ever want to have a mock like literally every hour, just reach out to GusBus24. He will get you in a mock. I promise you. He does one every hour. And now that I think he's a teacher, so now that school's wrapping up, he'll be a lot more available. All right. So we just wrapped all that up. I'm glad that we were able to get that all taken care of. Got to do a couple of my promo stuff to make sure we can get that out of the way. I mentioned before our sleeper channel. Make sure you guys, I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a few minutes. This is the QR code for the sleeper app. If you don't have the app already, make sure you guys just, all you got to do is, put this on your screen, put it up, and, you can get the sleeper app. And then in the description below is a link to get to our particular private sleeper channel. So all those are welcome. We have great content, a great amount of people that are in this mock right here. They're in that as well. They're always, asking questions and wanting people's input, and we're there to help them out as well. So make sure you guys check that out. It's a great community. I can't talk it up enough. We also make sure you guys are liking and subscribing as well. We really do appreciate all subscribes and likes to this particular video and to the channel. We will be back on Monday. We're going to be grading all these. So make sure all those that are watching that are currently mocking, we will be back Monday. We'll have the grades for you so that everything, we can break down how we think your team did, what we, the things that you could change, just our input. You don't always have to listen, but, we have our own input where we could try to help you out. If we see something that's a little off, maybe you can change this one little thing. We're just trying to help you guys when the real thing happens in August. We want to get you guys ready for those drafts so you can win those leagues. We always want you guys to win. So that's what we're here for. So I'm glad everyone was here. Glad everyone could roll up their sleeves so that we can have a good time. So I already had mine up. I'm going to roll them down. Finally, we're all over. I hope everyone was at least having a beer, having a good time. So, all right, we're going to wrap this up. Everybody, thank you so much for what thank you for supporting the show. For those who are watching, make sure you guys check us out on Monday. We'll have that all set up soon. Other than that, we'll see you next time. Have a great night, guys.